Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
If you really have a serious reason, I don't know, something that, how could it happen, but you break your hand, you leg, I don't know, something like that. Me, I would go even like that inside the octagon. Bro, I don't care. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title. I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt.
Arman Tsarukyan isn't staying silent, as he's fired back brutally at Ilia Topuria's diss, labeling him a duck, afraid of competition. Earlier this week, Ilia Topuria stated that he did not want to give Arman Tsarukyan a chance for the title, dissing him as an unreliable opponent who may pull out of the fight at the last moment.
Who you don't know that maybe he could pull out from the fight? That's not something good for us. It's not on my back. Bro, I don't care. I'm the world champion. I'm never gonna give him a chance to fight for the title.
Furthermore, Ilia Topuria made his stance crystal clear, declaring that he'd sooner vacate his title than hand Arman Tsarukyan a shot at it. Arman simply hasn't earned the right to share the cage with him, and he'd rather walk away from the belt than waste time on a challenger he sees as undeserving.
I will be like, listen, if that's the case, take my belt. I don't do it.
In a cheeky comeback, Arman Tsarukyan fired back by posting a video of himself chasing down a duck, joking that it shouldn't run away because he'd make it quick and painless. The message was loud and clear. Arman sees Ilia as all talk, but he is assuring him that he can't run away.
Ilia, stop running, Ilia. Stop running, Ilia. Good boy. I'll make it quick, no worries. Good boy.
Adding to that, Arman took to X and wrote, "Imagine calling yourself a champion, but you're already looking for a way out. You can vacate it or I'll take it. Either way, it's mine." However, Ilia Topuria clarified his stance that he sees no scenario where Arman Tsarukyan sneaks back into title contention anytime soon. According to Ilia, the UFC is fully locked in on either Justin Gaethje or Paddy Pimblett as his next target, shutting the door on Arman completely and brushing off any idea that he's even in the equation for what comes next.
Seriously, like, who do you think you'll be, like, the UFC will give you next? I'm curious, because there's a lot of guys.
I don't know. I think that they are going to try to push for Justin. Is what I think. Or maybe Paddy. There's not even conversation about Arman.
But Ilia admitted that a fight with Justin wouldn't be that big, because everyone would already know the result. He stated that Justin would come into the fight as a massive underdog. To further solidify his claim, Topuria highlighted how he has already defeated the guys who have dominated Justin, so if people can connect the dots, they have the answer to who wins.
Everyone is gonna be like, they're gonna know the result even before the fight.
He's gonna be a huge underdog.
Yeah, he's gonna be a huge underdog, and everyone's gonna know what's gonna happen. In the fight game, everything can happen, but it's like,
Yeah.
bro, come on. Come on. Like, I fought with Max, he knocked out Justin Gaethje. I fought with Charles Oliveira, he submit Justin. So it's like, even if you see the path he had with the opponent, you have the answer.
Yeah.
Reacting to Ilia Topuria's talk about preferring a showdown with Paddy Pimblett, Arman responded stating, "Ilia versus Paddy, easily the most fake and mismatched rivalry in UFC history." Building on that, Ilia dismissed Arman Tsarukyan entirely, saying no one cares about him and calling him weird for pulling out of a fight for what he believed was no real reason. He questioned how Arman's injury even happened, and argued that if he were in the same position, he wouldn't have pulled out and would have fought regardless.
First of all, who gives a about him? It's kind of weird, dude.
But if you pull out a day before, you gotta fight someone else. Like I was
100%.
at that fight too, and I was so pumped for that fight. And then the day before he pulled out, and everyone's like, bro.
And for no reason.
Yeah.
For no reason. For no reason. If you really have a serious reason, I don't know, something that, how could it happen, but you break your hand, you leg, I don't know, something like that. Me, I would go even like that inside the octagon.
Backfiring on Ilias's statements, Arman stated, "Running from the real contender only proves one thing. You're scared. Deep down, you know exactly what happens if you ever step in there with me." Further adding to his claims, Arman stated that while he respects Paddy Pimblett and Justin Gaethje as good fighters, he believes neither should skip ahead of him for a title shot.
Yeah.
But
Yep, so
because it exploded into like such a big thing, do you think there's a chance they might go in that direction?
I mean, Petty, he's a good fighter, but he doesn't deserve to fight for the title. You know, he cannot jump ahead of me and fight for the title.
So do you think it should be you versus Ilia, Paddy versus Gaethje?
Yes.
Gaethje said that if he
That's
doesn't
the
get a
best.
title shot, he's going to retire.
I mean, he can do whatever he wants to do, so I don't care about Gaethje, Petty. I just need to fight for the title.
Yes, there it is. You wrote. By the way, I have to say,
Yeah, if UFC say like a fight with Gaethje, I'll take the fight and as soon as possible, and then fight with Ilia.
Petty, he looked very good on his last fight, and now we can say he can be top 10 fighters. So, but I wanna fight as soon as possible. So maybe he wants to fight at the end of this year, but I wanna fight this summer and then at the end of this year.
So if they did come to you with Paddy and said, "Let's put you in for summer," you would take that?
Yeah, I'll take that. I'll take that because he has a big name. He just beat Michael Chandler, and he has a 6 or 7 win streak.
From his perspective, he's earned his place and deserves to be next in line based on the current contender ranking.
I just pulled out. I just got hurt and I was a backup, made the way to show like I'm ready. If something happened, I'm jumping and how can I prove more than that? So, and everybody, if you ask like 10 people who is gonna deserve more fight for the title, and everybody gonna say my name.
Sure. And of course, you posted about that not long after.
I mean, it's not WWE. It's a sport. It's UFC. It's professional. How like you can bring like everybody to fight for the title, and like who even like lose 2 fights ago, or like who is just beat on ranking guys, you know.
However, Justin Gaethje argued that he's in a stronger position for a title shot than Arman Tsarukyan, pointing out that Arman already pulled out of a previous title fight, which, according to Justin, puts him ahead in line.
Yeah, I mean, that's the fight that I want. You know, obviously I'm biased. I'm going to fight for what I feel like I deserve. But he feels the same. She feels the same. We're all biased towards ourselves. It's me or Arman. I believe somebody has to fight him this year. And I think I'm in a better spot than Arman, so someone's gonna fight him. I hope it's MSG, New York City. I get to fight him, and then I get to defend it on the White House lawn. That's what I'm planning for.
Adding fuel to the fire, Rampage Jackson weighed in, saying that if Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria ever fought, he would be backing Arman Tsarukyan, but he didn't dismiss Ilia's skills either. He acknowledged that with the run Ilia is on, it's tough to bet against him, just like that.
Well, you know, I'm with Arman. If they fight each other, I'm with Arman on that. But Topuria, man, it's just going to be hard to bet against that guy. Of course. You know, based off his last 3 fights and what he's shown here, his wrestling and his grappling.
But Rampage, you've seen so many different generations of fighters. You've seen so many different champions. Is he that different compared to other things you've seen, or is it just his time?
Yeah, it's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
But I haven't seen anybody boxing so neat and so crisp and so tight.
Building on that, Luke Rockhold pointed out that Ilia Topuria is a bit smaller, while Arman Tsarukyan is the bigger man and an elite fighter. He acknowledged that Ilia's wrestling is top-notch, but emphasized that Arman's wrestling is just as strong, and with the added size advantage, it could make a real difference.
Here's the thing, he is a little bit smaller, and Arman is a bigger guy, and Arman's elite. So we'll get to see, like, I mean, I believe Topuria's wrestling is elite, but Arman's is elite and he's bigger. And that could pose a problem. I mean, like Islam, elite and bigger, like these guys are going to be, in the grappling aspect of things, it's going to be dangerous for him. You know, and I'm curious to see how that reacts.
We see this guy as one of the most confident fighters.
he knows where he's coming. He knew the moment he stepped forward, he knew he was going to throw this combo and he's going to land all 3 of those shots. Jab, hook, hook, bang, bang, bang.
Praising Ilia, Luke added that he hasn't seen anyone in the UFC or the MMA in general right now with cleaner, sharper punches than Ilia.
No, these are the best boxing I've seen ever, probably ever in the UFC.
Okay, so now for the people
I don't think there's anybody better ever.
For the people at home who don't know this, I want to go one by one. What does that actually mean to you, though? Break that down. What makes his boxing so good?
He's balanced. He's powerful. He rotates. He's got the best boxing I've seen in the UFC ever.
Similarly, ATT coach Marcos D'Amata pointed out that Ilia Topuria has never actually faced Arman Tsarukyan, and he's not convinced the UFC wants that problem on Ilia's doorstep before any potential showdown with Islam Makhachev. In Parumpa's eyes, Arman could be the toughest roadblock in Ilia's path, fully capable of making it ugly and handing him an upset loss before the big money fight.
Ilia never fought Arman, and I think, I'm not sure if that's the UFC wants before Ilia fights Islam, because in my opinion, in my heart, I think Arman can make it very hard for Ilia. I think he can beat Ilia. I think he will beat Ilia. Oh, you train Arman, of course, yeah, but I believe in Arman. I think he has the ability, the tools, to beat a guy like Ilia. Oh, he's a very heavy-handed guy. Unbelievable guy. Ilia is a great champion. All the abilities that Ilia has, he's amazing. He was hired by the UFC because of his grappling. And then all of a sudden, he started knocking people out.
Additionally, Coach Marcos threw his weight behind Arman Tsarukyan, insisting Arman is a level above anyone Ilia Topuria has faced so far. He did not hold back, stating that if Ilia dares to face Arman, he'll take a loss that kills any dream matchup with Islam Makhachev dead in its tracks.
I think Arman has the ability. He's better than Charles. He's better than all these guys that Ilia fought, So let's say they put Arman now with Ilia. Then the big super fight, Ilia-Islam, is off. And he beats Ilia and that super fight. So I'm not sure, maybe they're going to put Pimblet to fight Ilia or somebody else to fight Ilia to get a good win. Wait until Islam fights Jack, see what happens. Hopefully they both win. There's your big super fight of the year next year.
On the other hand, TJ Dillashaw stated that Arman Tsarukyan shouldn't try to trade punches for punches with Ilia Topuria in the first 2 rounds, highlighting that Ilia is an exceptional boxer. TJ added that even if Arman is just as skilled overall, in pure boxing exchanges, Ilia will still have the edge.
Do not go punch for him in the first 2 rounds.
I mean, you can't, no.
Do not go punch for punch with him.
And the reason why?
Because he's crips. He's amazing boxing.
Even
amazing.
if you are just as good, though, like Arman's a phenomenal striker and
not
wrestler.
this good.
Not this good.
No, Arman doesn't have boxing like the power he punches because he's balanced. His weight's on his back foot. He's able to push off. He closes distance wonderfully. He's throwing 5 or 6 punch combos. He's staying tight. His hands are always up. His head's getting off the tracks.
His vision's clear.
Yeah, exactly. His vision's clear.
He sees it.
He's relaxed in there. That's where he wants to be.
Moreover, TJ stated that the Arman fight should happen, and that's what the people want, and he states that if he gets through Tsarukyan, he should fight Islam.
Do we also feel that he's coming into a division right now that's in a little bit of a disarray, so he's kind of going to be able to do what he wants for the next couple of years?
We need to see him fight Arman,
and then I would decide after that.
And then decide after that, and then if he gets through Arman, which is going to be a tough battle, Islam needs to come back.
On the flip side, Demetrius Johnson pushed back on the idea that Ilia Topuria is ducking anyone, insisting that Ilia fears no one and would have no problem putting Arman Tsarukyan to sleep. According to Johnson, Ilia wouldn't even waste time wrestling. He'd simply find his spot, land clean, and finish the job without a second thought.
I don't think he's just going to risk going into where Arman's good just to prove a point.
No, I think he's going to knock Arman out. I don't think he cares to wrestle with anybody. I think he's going to get himself to the right spot and try to knock everybody out. I don't know. I mean, it's hard to say because I think Arman and Paddy have a unique style of fighting. Paddy is good everywhere. Arman's good everywhere, but their strongest suit, in my opinion, is their grappling. To where Ilia is pretty much good everywhere, and he has that power to turn the lights out. So I think each time Ilia fights, you're always going to see him get to the right spot and knock people out.
Furthermore, Coach Marcos advised Arman Tsarukyan, urging him not to waste time waiting around if the UFC drags its feet on making the fight with Ilia happen. According to Parumpa, Arman should stay sharp and stay relevant. If the title shot isn't lined up, he believes Arman needs to jump right back in, take on another top contender.
And in the meantime, Arman needs to fight maybe one more time, you know, to cement himself as the #1 contender. That's what we got to do. Whatever, you know, we'll do.
However, Ilia stated that with Paddy, it's different because both of them want to fight each other, and the energy is just different with Pimblet. Especially with the history, it makes for a much better build-up.
And then
it builds up the fight much better than without that trash talk before the fight. When you have two guys that really want to fight between each other, the energy is different. Everything is different.
On a side note, Ilia voiced his interest in fighting on the White House card, stating that he would love to step into the cage right in front of the White House. Although he doubts that Islam would want to fight him at the White House because he would not want to cut his weight.
Would you want to fight at the White House? Or
why not? I would love to fight in front of the United States of America.
Yeah.
You try to go up, you never want to come back.
Yeah.
It's like...
It's hell, right?
It's hell.
Yeah.
It's hell. I had to go through hell when I was cutting the weight in 145. And now that I decide to stay in 155, it's like two different worlds.
Moreover, Ilia Topuria also added another name, stating that if Jack Della Maddalena beats Islam Makhachev, he'd love to fight him instead. At the same time, he replied to Khabib, who recently stated that JDM is a tougher match for Ilia.
Wow, just imagine if Jack beats Islam. That fight would be great also.
You versus Jack?
Yeah, I would love to fight him.
What do you think? I saw Khabib said that he thinks that Jack is a harder fighter for Islam than you.
What he's gonna say.
Yeah.
What he's gonna say. That's the fight they have ahead. They're not gonna say, no, we are fighting a easier opponent than Ilia. He has to say that.
You guys have a lot of mutual respect though, right?
He knows the reality.
Yeah.
What you said?
I said you guys have a lot of mutual respect still, but it's just...
There's always respect.
Of course.
How you cannot respect like people who's fighting for their dreams and they work hard.
Interestingly, Khabib Nurmagomedov states that Ilia is not similar to Conor McGregor as people are making him. Khabib states that, unlike Conor, Topuria has a good side. He highlights that Ilia is just putting on an act for Khabib. It's very clear he is not a bad guy.
Альтернатива вместо Конора Илья Топурия может быть?
Не, он хороший парень.
Да.
Пытается быть кем-то. Сразу же видно. Ну вот тебе вопрос. Не, я не думаю.
Adding to the noise, Malcolm Wellmaker put his name out there for a potential clash with Ilia Topuria, but clarified that he'd mainly just want to know what it feels like to share the cage with him, even if it's just a sparring session.
Would you like to spar Topuria?
Yeah, if I could spar him, bro, like, man, look, man, all these, just being in the conversation with all these names now is still crazy to me. So like being able to work with somebody like him and like feel what it feels like to work with somebody that's the pinnacle of, you know, fighting right now, I can't imagine what it's like.
Yeah, I would like to watch that. I would like to watch that.
In the end, the back and forth between Arman Tsarukyan and Ilia Topuria has only added more fuel to an already fiery division with coaches, fighters, and fans all chiming in on who truly deserves the next shot. Whether Ilia sticks to his word and keeps Arman out in the cold, or the UFC decides to test Topuria's confidence against Tsarukyan's relentless pressure, one thing's for certain: the hype in the division is real. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to like, share, and subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss a beat. And we will see you in the next video with more exciting updates.